Let's go through a few viewer comments.
Oh boy.
That's our official theme song for viewer comments. Wolf Sigma, good old friend of ours, we talked about Armada Wave 3 coming out, Star Wars Armada. They were a little disappointed with the new flotilla ship they announced, although it seems like they said these flotillas might be useful. They're hoping to see more squadrons and more large ships, and they're hoping that Wave 3 has more stuff that they haven't shown yet, which I wouldn't be surprised by because they only showed us this one thing. So usually when it's a wave, unless it's like 6 of these flotillas, I don't know. But I would guess that there might be those more of the ships that you're hoping for.
No, I can understand his disappointment. One reason, because like I said, when we played, I don't know if the tournament scene's any different, considering we're still very casual, if anything, how it seemed to come down to who can destroy the other person's like little fleet ships first.
Right. For us, we had some strategic hurdles in that regard.
So if you had more interesting, fleet choices, or not fleet, squadron choices, I mean. And of course, the fleet ships are awesome. Like the small Imperial Raider's so cool.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. Raphaelis13 commented on the Descent app that we talked about, which we were both really excited about. Mm-hmm. They were also very excited about, but don't have hopes up for the quests being adapted from the games to the app, which I can see because they're going to want you to buy those games and apps as well. But still looking forward to that coming out and trying that out. You can see all this stuff.
Can you play Descent without the base?
I don't believe so. I don't think
so you have to have the base.
Yeah, I don't think any of those expansions are standalone. I could very well be wrong, but...
No, because you need all the pieces.
You need
the map pieces.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they come with... Some of them probably have new maps.
Their own, but I'm sure they expect the old ones because...
There's doors.
I mean, you've seen the size
generic,
of that.
Yeah.
Those expansions.
I mean, well, I guess theoretically, if you had enough... because they also come with new heroes and new monsters.
No, that's not the part. It's like I said, I think it's the map tiles. I expect because
let us know because we're not going to look it up. Descent players.
We haven't beaten our first core yet, and we probably won't.
We're far behind. And finally, this is just
we're terrible with Descent.
This was just nice. Brian Bunker commented on our XWing playback video and was satisfied and thanked us and said, as a new player playing XWing, they found it really helpful because that's what we were when we filmed that. We approached as new players, which I think maybe is a less tapped into section of videos for X-Wing. Usually it's the experts making those, not as much the noobs, which we still pretty much are.
Well, yeah, I definitely think this is interesting because I think X-Wing, well, first of all, thank you very much for the comment, but X-Wing fits into certain pilot games, which I would throw in Magic the Gathering, Netrunner. These are all games that have a moving meta and very complex. So what happens is a lot of people are and they design it, will dive into and really deep and focus on this, which becomes really great if you really love it and you can make all new different techniques and a video becomes outdated though within maybe a few months. And you might not know that. So it's maybe a little hard to jump into this thing. I mean, I know recently I read a thread on Reddit about...
A Threadit. I call him that.
About someone saying like he used to play Android Netrunner and he's thinking of playing because there's a bigger Magic scene where he is now of playing that casually, and people are like, look, to be honest, casual Magic isn't as casual as you think. Like most Magic players aren't board gamers too because they only play Magic. Like they mentioned how a casual Magic group just means no tournaments. You're going to go in there and you're still going to have people who are playing a lot of expensive and rare cards and combinations. Not that that's bad, it's just that means you need to put more time and focus.
Sort of the same thing with a lot of role-playing games or even something like Descent, which we just talked about. Anything with that kind of ongoing releases, you're going to be devoting some time to it. And that's scary for us. But we're here to help. So maybe there's a video out there a game like that we haven't done a video on yet. We need to get to Netrunner, I think. That's one that we could do. That's maybe coming up.
Well, we've only recently been able to play the game without the runner dying in 2 turns. Yeah,
it was a real struggle. But I was reading online about people talking about their own personal board game vocabulary, terminology that their group invented that they use kind of like an inside joke, but that you use to describe either a piece or just a type of play or a type of player. The one that I wanted to say, the one that we do have that I think is a story worth
Our
telling.
own or
yes, our own.
theirs? Okay.
Our own is a while back at some game night, someone made some game move. I don't even remember what we were playing, but our friend Garrett has made some comments calling it a walrus play.
Yes.
and I was like, what does that mean? And he says, oh, because walruses are really stupid. I thought that was the funniest thing I ever heard.
Well, there's another one we haven't been using much recently. I think partly because you moved, so you don't have it anymore.
What?
But we used to be like, you've earned the trophy.
Oh, the trophy. That's right. We
do have our own trophy for my house, but we don't really use it. It's right there.
We should explain. Well, it originated as I don't know how this started. It was the Get Out trophy. And someone did or said something stupid. You just handed them the trophy, like, you can leave.
Which was one of your sister's old soccer trophies, if I recall correctly.
It was an old, it wasn't soccer, it was softball.
Softball.
Yes, an old softball.
Which degraded.
It was like a 1996 girls softball trophy that like broke in half eventually. So that's a good one. Yeah, the trophy. But I really want to I think walrus play should become a standard phrase among. I think we should start that movement from Roll for Crit.
Well, what might actually happen? Well, a new game will come out called Walrus Play.
That's good.
But
yeah.
The one thing I'm curious about, your own vocabulary, but in particular, I know it's because when you read that, you asked us, and we're like, what's our vocabulary? Besides walrus play, we're like, well, all our vocabulary is just names of people. Like, that's a kneel turn, or why are you being such an...
That's just called being mean.
Yeah, like that's all we do otherwise. we just generically call, like, oh, God damn it, stop being a willy.
Yeah, pretty much. Let us know.
Well, I don't know, like, people do that, like, there's a John. Like, not referring to you.
I don't know if that came from a person named John.
Maybe.
Let us know if your group has these things. I'm very curious to find out what they are, what their basis is, the history. Because I think it's kind of cool and funny.
Like, what were some of the ones you read? Like, when the person ended their turn, they went choo-choo?
Yeah. There's a Board Game Geek thread, and I'm sure Reddit has discussions and all other board game sites. But it's interesting stuff. It's sort of a anthropological study, if you will, and I won't.
With Professor Jonathan Estes.